Hello Moments of Sports viewers, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we have listed down Team New Zealand's playing 11 for the World Test Championship. Please watch the full video and don't forget to subscribe to enjoy more videos like this one. Tom Latham. Tom Latham is a wicketkeeper batsman who has established himself as a test opener for New Zealand. He started his test career against Team India back in 2014. It was not a great start for him as he got out of a duck in the first inning and scored 29 runs in the second innings. His test career saw an upward movement in the series against Pakistan as he registered back-to-back centuries. Devon Conway. In April 2021, Conway was named in New Zealand's Test squad for their series against England and for the final of the 2021 ICC World Test Championship. He made his Test debut on 2nd June 2021 for New Zealand against England. In the match, Conway became the 12th batsman for New Zealand to score a century on his Test debut and the first visiting batsman after Sourav Ganguly to hit a century at Lord's on the Test debut. His score of 200 was the highest score by a men's Test debut in England. At the age of 29 years, he also became the oldest batsman to score a double century on his Test debut. Kane Wiliamson. At a time when New Zealand were struggling to get to grips with Test cricket after the retirement of Stephen Fleming, came Kane Wiliamson, a young, technically sound batsman with the skill to face lethal pace attacks and at the same time tackle quality spinner with nimble footwork. Williamson set a new record for scoring the most centuries by a New Zealand batsman in Tests. In 2018, Williamson became the first player from New Zealand to cross 900 rating points in the ICC Test batting rankings. He also became the fastest New Zealand player to score 6,000 runs in the cricket. Ross Taylor. Ross Taylor has to be one of the unsung heroes of this decade in international cricket. In a test match against Australia at Hamilton in 2010, Taylor made the fastest test century ever by a New Zealander, bringing up his 100 of only 81 balls. Taylor scored centuries in all three tests in the 2013-14 series against the West Indies. In the first test, he made his first test match double century and highest test score of unbeaten 217 in a composed and the classy innings. Henry Nicholls. A promising left-handed batsman, Henry Nicholls has been talked about highly among New Zealand's cricketing circle over the few years. He had made his Test debut on 12 February 2016 against Australia. In March 2017, during the second Test against South Africa at the Basin Rivers, Wellington, Nicholls scored his first century in Test, scoring 118 in the first innings. B.J. Watling. In Tests, Watling scored his maiden ton against Zimbabwe in 2012, helping the Black Caps post an intimidating total that allowed them to win the one-off Test by an innings and 301 runs. He continued this form in 2013, putting up consistent performance in the Test against South Africa and England. In 2013, he scored his second Test ton and retained his place in the Test squad. His third Test ton was scored against India. In retrospect, that one performance has been the turning point in his career. Colin de Grandhomme. In 2016, de Grandhomme was named in New Zealand's Test squad for the tour against Pakistan and debuted in the first Test match. He took his maiden Test wicket in the form of Azhar Ali. In the match, de Grandhomme scored a 50 and took a 5-wicket haul in his maiden innings of the Test. In 2017 against the West Indies, de Grandhomme scored his first Test century. The 71 ball century was recorded as the second fastest century in the Test by a New Zealand batsman. Team Southee. When injury ruled Kylie Mills out of the third Test match in Napier, Southee was added to the squad and made his Test match debut in 2008. Aged only 19 years, he was New Zealand's 7th youngest Test debutant. He had an immediate impact on the first day, dismissing Michael Vaughan and Andrew Torres in his second and third overs. On the second day, he took 2 more wickets and completed a debut 5-wicket haul. Jamieson. In 2019, Jamieson was added to New Zealand's Test squad for their series against Australia but didn't play. In 2021, Jamieson took his best figures in a Test match with 11 for 117 in the second Test against Pakistan. He played only 7 matches and took 39 wickets from 14 innings. Wagner. In his Test career against the West Indies and South Africa, Wagner established himself as a reliable third seamer for New Zealand side during their 2013 home and away series against England, taking 19 wickets in 5 Tests. In 2018, in the second match against Pakistan, he took his 150th Test wicket. In 2020, in the second match against the West Indies, Wagner played his 50th Test match. Trent Boult. Boult made his Test debut in 2011-12 season. His first Test wicket was Michael Hussey as he picked up 4 wickets in the match and helped New Zealand win a Test in Australia for the first time. His moment of glory came in the second Test against West Indies at Basin Reserve, where he got his first 10-wicket haul. That performance also gave Boult his first Man of the Match award. He continued to give a great time in Test cricket as he picked up 10 wickets in the 2 games against India. Thanks for watching the list of Team New Zealand's playing 11 for the World Test Championship. If you liked the video, please like or comment to show your support, and also don't forget to subscribe to the Moments of Sports channel for more similar content.